Blessed be your name when the sun's shining down on me, when the world's all as it should be. Blessed be your name. Blessed be your name on the road marked with suffering. Though there's pain in the offering, blessed be your name. Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. You give and take away. Give and take away. Give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Siyahamba, 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 siyahamba. Siyahamba kukanyeni kwenkos, siyahamba kukanyeni kwenkos. Siyahamba kukanyeni kwenkos, siyahamba kukanyeni kwenkos. Siyahamba hamba, siyahamba oh, siyahamba kukanyeni kwenkos. Siyahamba hamba, siyahamba oh, siyahamba kukanyeni kwenkos. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, oh, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, oh, we are marching in the light of God. 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 It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He said, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man.
song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets me my drinks for free. But he's quick with a joke, or he'll light up your smoke. But there's some place that he'd rather be. He said, John, I believe this is killing me. As the smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. I hope I have. Well, after 2 years, I can truly say it's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday. And the manager, long-haired manager that she is, and goodness hasn't she changed in those years. She's now looking 6 years younger.
And 1 kidney lighter.
Yes, and I have put all that weight on that you gave me. And the manager, I looked at the pictures from the early, and I was slim. I was a lot less.
You're getting back there.
Yeah, I am starting to lose. Yeah. Literally, it's £0.5 pound a year. And the manager, well, beautifully,
she
gives me a smile.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, thank you for that. Do that again. Do that again, Rachel. Here we go.
I think you're a bit out, Helen Paul. I think it's going to be longer than 4 minutes.
That's all right. We got carried away then, weren't we?
You weren't going to do that at all.
No, I wasn't going to do. Da 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 da. And the manager, she gives me a smile, because she knows this me. With post-COVID fatigue.
You're right.
That they've coalesced around to listen to for a while.
We do.
And don't worry about going up late tonight, because we're here for hours, and it's the 2-year anniversary, so just relax, turn everything else off, and just have a great evening. We've got so many lovely guests for you.
We do.
We've got some lovely people coming in. I've got some memories, and there's a special thing that Rachel has put together and that Claire finished off this afternoon. So many great things to watch. And it's just going to be a lovely evening's entertainment. So stick around, and remember, she knows that it's me they've been coming to see.
Well, and me.
To forget about life for a while. Oh, and the piano, it sounds like a carnival, and the microphone, it smells like a beer. And they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar. They say, man, what are you doing here? La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la. a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and we've got us feeling alright. And as the music dies down, you're left once again with JV and Sue from the Steinway room.
Yay.
With the tech team here in full force tonight.
We are.
After 2 years, and I don't want to blow our own trumpets, but with the music awards, there we are. You see that? There they were. The Music and Arts Awards 2020 winners. And those of you who haven't heard the interview, go and have a listen. And what a journey it's been for all of us, hasn't it, Susan Ann?
It has. It's been incredible, actually. And a lot of people have been writing in saying that they think that they've seen all of them. And I'm just going to can I have a quick whiz through while you're having a swig of water? A quick whiz through the names that I can, and if I miss you, write and tell me. But I think we've got Sandy, Annette, Kathy Robertson, Hazel Buckland, Karen Bate with Heather, of course, Ruth and Martin, Rachel and Paul Cogger, Jenny and Neil Woodward from Oz.
Yeah, lovely to see you.
Yeah, and John and Margaret Evans, dear Marion Hornby, who not only has managed every show, she's also managed a couple of live shows as well. Including Friday. I think Pauline Barry, you said that you'd seen them all. I think your parents probably have as well.
And
if I've missed you, I'm sorry. I've seen them all. Yeah. I've seen them all.
And an awful lot were watched in Australia as well by...
Yes, Lucas. Yes, Lucas, we are so sorry to hear. Dear Lucas, who you will have remembered came on with his lovely lady. They came and sang beautifully. And unfortunately, Lucas has COVID. And just before the start of the show, I heard from him that he's been taken into hospital because he's been having chest pains. So he is on the COVID ward. So Lucas, we love you. And we are sending our love, we are sending our prayers, and we're sending lots of hugs to you.
One of our great friends.
He gets up. He gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning to see this.
He does.
He does.
And play along. So you can't play along on your new guitar, but it's okay. We've had COVID. You'll be fine. You're going to be okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And just hang in there and do as you're told, and then just like me, really, in a way. Look, in the midst of all this, and I said this the other night, with lovely concert devices, with a lovely Andrew Robertson, we did, and it's Project for Hope.
Yes, Project Delivering Hope. And if you remember, we had him on a number of months back, year or so back, he told us about this lovely project happening in South Sudan, where he was going to be
planting seeds.
Yes, taking seeds out and basically helping people to...
But he was one of the early charities,
and
you raised... He told us nearly £3,000 on that night.
You were amazing, guys.
Is there a picture? Is there a picture of the seeds now?
Have we got the seeds there, Rachel?
I don't even know whether
we have. We have.
Ah.
Good old Rachel.
Rachel, who is not very well at the moment. So
look at these amazing plants. You helped these guys to grow these seeds. I just think these pictures are amazing because here they are. They're out in their fields growing the most amazing crops, and the seeds were bought with the money that you gave.
Think of that.
I just think that's incredible. Those plants would not have been there without you guys.
No, and we were so proud of you that night, amongst other people, other charities. And we're going to just talk in a minute after I've sung this one song, and we're going to talk to our dear friend Lisa Ashton.
We are.
And who's one of the very first charities we supported. But you know, the songs that I sung, a lot of them. Some of them gospel songs, some of them were secular songs. I love, as you know, all my albums represented. That's who I am. And this has always been, from the day it began, it was a program for people of faith and no faith. All right? And so that opened the doors for everybody.
Everyone is welcome
Other
in
people
our
can
home.
say, oh, well, you know, you can say what you like. When you run the show, you can have whoever you like, and that's it. But we have an all-comers, and I mean all-comers, okay? Remember the God of the Moon and Stars, God of the Near and Far, God of the Fragile Hearts We Are, that song? That's what we base that on. Everybody comes, and everybody's in. And if you don't like the gospel songs, you can go make a cup of tea at that time if you're an atheist. But we welcome you, and we genuinely want you in with us, dialoguing with us, being with us, caring for other people with us.
Absolutely. And if you're joining us for the first time tonight,
Yes.
particularly those of you who were there at this amazing concert on Friday down in Devizes, then it's a lovely joy to have you in our home watching JV live from the Steinway room.
Tell them why this was Wonderful World.
Oh, Wonderful World. Oh, right, yes. Now, this one was one of the first ones that Jonathan sang, and we were streaming for the very first night, and our neighbour opposite was watching, and she stuck a note through the door that I picked up that said, "Do you think Jonathan can sing Wonderful World?" And I said, "Yes, of course he can," and we introduced it, and then Jonathan realised that he had never actually played the song. He'd sung it lots of times, but always to a backing track. So in those days, he couldn't do backing tracks, but he muddled through somehow, you know what he's like. So here we have Jonathan singing Wonderful World.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. But I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you and you. But I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Wonderful world. Oh, wonderful world. Oh, wonderful world. And I think that was more or less
Exactly as you played it.
pretty much.
Pretty much.
But and then we did the version for Lockdown Sessions
Yes.
1, the album that came out of that. And that was one of the ones that was voted, I
and
think,
the other significant thing that happened on that very first show was that Rob Barron wrote in to say that he was watching from his hospital bed. He was in hospital very severely ill with COVID, and dear Di then ended up going into hospital, and she nearly died from COVID. So this was quite a dramatic thing for us to be experiencing. And I remember we talked about him, and people began to write to him, and they have made every single show as well, and they've had you on their show
many times on their show. And it was one of those that I was going to get Rob, and I thought, actually, he'd been on a lot, and I wanted to have some other people as well. But actually, and Rob, we just send out big love to both you and Di for the work that you've done through pandemic and on the radio, keeping stuff alive, and also keeping it, for those that were sceptical at the beginning about there being such a thing as COVID, people like you stood there, and actually when there was no particular treatment, and they didn't have vaccines, these were pre-vaccine days.
They were.
And those of us who just had it and are just recovering from it still, when one gets tired, I had a little sleep this afternoon. The show was hard work on Friday for me, physically, and very hard work, and the coffee's still there, and but you soldiered on. You did well. You did well. Actually, thank the Lord for the vaccines. And we remember having the professor of pharmacology who helped to develop the AstraZeneca one. If you remember, from Liverpool University, professor of that. Now, we're going to get, because I know it's going to be one of those shows that everything's going to fall behind. We love to talk and love to chat. I just picked up this. This here was the programme for April 12th. I couldn't find the one for the week before, which was...
I don't think there was one.
Oh, you think you just kind of went...
I don't think there was one. I think you just started.
And it was Sing Us a Song.
You just carried on.
Chorus last... Oh, Sole Mio. Oh, Sole Mio. And Boogie Woogie. And all that stuff. Summertime and the Living Is... He hasn't done that one for a long time. The Old Rugged Cross, which made the recording, of course. Vienna, which was for Gareth, I think. Daniel is Travelling Tonight on a Plane, Elton John. In Christ Alone, Thorns in the Straw for Roxanne, I'll tell you. All That Matters, Have I Told You Lately, 3 Times a Lady for Roger and Leslie, and we send love out to them. I don't think they're listening now, but You Raise Me Up, King of Kings, It Is Well. There were about 35 songs on there, and of course we finished with Go Peaceful and The Lord Bless You, which became the thing. So it was quite interesting looking back on that programme and a few others. But we're going to welcome a lovely guest in now, who we chatted to. We've known her for a very long time, mainly because I worked with her in the BBC, on the BBC. We did a number of programmes over the years, and she then became head of an organisation, took over when in Mabasso she died, and she's been on a number of times. And it's the lovely, from the Mabasso Foundation, and here she is, Lisa Ashton. Give a big round of applause and big lots of hearts coming on. Lisa, you're looking gorgeous in your bedroom.
Bedroom, yeah.
And are you going to have a little kip?
Sorry.
It's so good to have you on the 90th show, and after 2 years to the date, almost. And sorry it went up a bit late, lots of technical issues, and everything going wrong. Of course it was, because it was a momentous programme. Tell us a little bit about what you did last week.
So after 2 years of lockdown, I was, well, not lockdown the whole time, but obviously since COVID started, I've been back in the UK and unable to get back to South Africa to see my girls. So a couple of weeks ago, I was able to fly back to South Africa for the first time and got to hug my girls again and got to take them on vacation to the seaside.
Fabulous.
So all of the staff and children could just have a wonderful time bonding and just spending time together again. So it's been super, super special.
What was it like getting back? When you first walked in to them, what was the response?
It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Just lots of screaming. The minibus pulled onto the driveway and the driver honked the horn and the girls just came charging. And it was just incredibly emotional, as you can imagine, after 2 long years. It was actually 2 years to the day from when I flew back to the UK from South Africa on the last repatriation flight before the lockdown started in the UK. 2 years to the day, I landed back in South Africa and was able to hug my girls again. So
quite extraordinary, quite
emotional.
extraordinary, isn't it? And you've managed to keep that project going and keep your funds, keep asking for funds, and people keep giving. And it's a wonderful thing. You've got a great partnership with Virgin Airlines that have treated you really well, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. They've been absolutely brilliant. So throughout the lockdown, obviously Virgin continued flying to South Africa, but mainly doing cargo flights.
Yes.
But they were able to take out donations of clothing and lateral flow tests for us,
Yes.
which was really, really important. So
Yes.
yeah, they were fantastic throughout, and then obviously flew me home to my girls as well. So I only got back to the UK the early hours of yesterday morning. So if I'm a bit spaced out, you'll have to excuse me.
Now we've only got a little bit of time left. Well, I watched you a lot of the videos that you sent, because we've got to wrap it up a little bit. I'm sorry to be so brief this time, but there's so much happening. But I really wanted you on because you were one of our first that this community supported so generously, and I was so proud of them for continuing to do so, and I want them to keep doing it, because at this time there's more and more need. I saw on the way, you sent videos, and one of the videos I saw, which we're not going to see, but there's another one that's coming up, was of the little girl on the way to the beach. Her face was when she was getting close to the seaside, and she was just so excited. It was so emotional. I was in tears watching it. I was.
Yeah, I mean, her name's Little Lebu, and we call her our miracle girl because when she first came to stay with us, doctors at the hospital just said she wouldn't live past the age of 5. She'd never be out of nappies. She'd never walk. She'd never talk. And basically, Little Lebu has everyone wrapped around her little finger. She's now 10. She's out of nappies. She goes to a special needs school. And I have to say, I was quite anxious. Is she going to remember who I am? Because although we've had video calls and stuff over the last 2 years, it's not the same as mum being there, No. But as soon as she saw me, she just ran into my arms and was jumping up and down and was incredibly excited to see me. But yeah, you're quite right. So when we went to the beach, I think she remembered the journey from where we stay down to the beach road.
Yeah.
And just the excitement was just beautiful to behold.
Tell us about the video you've given us to watch. It's only a short one. I think you've got a short video, 20 seconds of something you sent. Should we just play it? Let's have a look.
Yeah, play it. I'll talk through.
Oh, here we are.
This was me arriving home. So this was captured by our manager out there. So the girl was screaming and greeting me at the minibus. So yeah, very, very emotional experience. And I think the thing that really touched my heart when I got back was going to the squatter camp. Where obviously you raised a lot of money for grocery packs for the families that on the squatter camp that we support, and just seeing the how much the pandemic has affected them was really quite moving, and just how appreciative they've been of what the Winnie Mabasso Foundation has been able to provide them with during over the last 2 years. And that's a lot of that is thanks to your community as well, who did fundraising for us and raised money for us to be able to deliver those grocery packs to stop people being hungry through the pandemic. So brilliant.
Let's have a few more pictures before we go. Let's have a few more pictures. Rachel, have you got any more pictures up there, and you can just talk us through them? Here you go. Oh, here we go.
This is the Friday night feeding station that we've been able to start up again. Just a few months ago that started again, so we're now feeding around 1,000 people every Friday night.
Goodness, fantastic,
and more people are coming every Friday. But again, it was wonderful to see how the team have organised that Friday night feeding station. It's now on our plot rather than us going out and delivering food, and people wear masks, and even outside still in South Africa you have to wear masks at the moment. And just how it's just running like clockwork. Even the children know what to do: social distancing, sanitizing before they came in the yard. It was amazing to see how the team have organized life in a pandemic, when you're dealing with large numbers of people. So super proud of my team as well. And I think there's a photo there of one of the gentlemen receiving one of the grocery packs.
Fantastic, on the right, yeah. That's great. Lisa, we've got all your information, and I'm going to just say to the community as they're watching tonight, I know that various have supported you and have continued to support you. And people out there, what was the cost of the pack? Remind us, the food pack, how much is it?
Each food pack costs £20, and that feeds a family of 4 for a month.
I mean, it's just... So, and I know over here people are finding it difficult if you're on fixed incomes and whatever. Maybe you can get together with somebody else and find 4 of you to give a £5 and feed somebody for a month. Think the family, is it a family or a family? I mean, that's extraordinary.
Yeah, £20.
And we've got we've got all your information up online, williamabasso.org, and I think we'd like to continue to support you. Of course, we're doing a concert up in Chester that I think will be, again, the same. We're going to give. We've named you as the charity that we're going to do the proceeds from that. So again, all of that stuff. And do you know? I think the more we can help people, the better it is, and the more there are lots of need. There will always be lots of need. But we thank you so much for what you do. Just a final word from you, my love.
Well, just a big thank you to you and Sue and the community who have supported us through 2 very, very tough years. But hopefully, that light is at the end of the tunnel now.
Yeah.
And, obviously we continue to need support, but just thank you for everything that you've done for us. And thank you for just being such a positive inspiration to me personally as well, Jonathan, and thank you for the love and support that you've shown me over the last 2 years in particular.
Always, Lisa, always. You've grown as part of this community, and people love you for your honesty, your simplicity, your humility, and that I've always said to you. You remember what I said to you last time? You said, I don't know, I'm not a believer and all that. And I said, in as much as you've done it to the least of my brethren, you've done it unto me. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I didn't have clothes, you put clothes on me. And when I was in prison, you visited me. In as much as you've done any of these things, or more than that, you've done it unto me. So you're just walking the walk, girl. So just you keep doing it, all right? And we love you lots.
I love you too.
And there's a song, there will be a song for you called Just Around the Bend that I wrote with Paul Field that is about this optimism thing that we're going to do just before we have the lady on later on. So just stay tuned and listen. But God bless you. I'm going to sing a song. Thank you, Lisa, for coming on.
Bye. Thanks,
bless
Jonathan.
You soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. What a pleasure that. And it's just one of those, isn't it? One of those people.
It's just so lovely. It's a very warm feeling that we get when we talk to her, Lisa. And I know that people just love her, and they're all writing in their comments and so on, which is lovely.
It's wonderful. And please, whenever you can give, you give, please. And we're going to be asking a lot of you over the next, because things have changed. Then we're going to talk to Adrian in a second, and we're going to be talking about that from You've Got a Friend Trust. I'm going to do just a slightly odd one now. Guide me, O thou great Jehovah.
Right, yes.
Because I recorded this just before we started lockdown, and I finished it, and we were about to go on tour, and we did this, and Mark and I, we loved this version.
It's a beautiful version.
And it's on a lovely backing track, and why don't you give it to us? And this is for
Terry Davis came up with the idea. Absolutely brilliant idea, Terry, and it's a glorious version.
And I think tall because he's Welsh, isn't he? And I do it for Gareth as well. Here we go. The rugby matches I've been to, listen to this. It's just a marvellous song. And then it's straight into to Adrian. Guide me, oh, thou great Jehovah, pilgrim through this barren land. I am weak, but you are mighty. Hold me with your powerful hand. Bread of heaven, bread Let the fire and cloudy pillar lead me on my journey through. Strong deliverer, ever be my strength and shield, ever be my strength and shield. Of Jordan, bid my anxious fears subside. Death of death and hell's destruction, land me safe on Canaan's side. Songs of praises, I will ever sing to you. I will ever sing to you. I simply love that version. It's just one that really, I hope, can somebody tell me whether they like it out there or not? I'm not sure. Adrian! Adrian!
They're writing in saying they
Talk to me. How are you, boy?
I'm all right, Jonathan, are you? But I've got a bone to pick with you.
What bones have you got? If only you could see my bones.
Well, yesterday, when you were recording in the car, or Sue was recording you, you said you've got some special guests and old-timers. Now, which one am I? Come on.
You're definitely an old-timer,
Oh,
mate.
thank you. I thought I would be. I know my place.
I mean, look at you. Look at me. We're old geezers now, okay? let's just embrace it, Ada. Come on. There you are with your £1 million view looking out over the sea that's as dark as. What's the point of that?
It is dark.
What you need is some spotlights, my friend. That's what you need, okay? Anyway, Adrian, we haven't got a lot of time.
No.
Talk to us a little bit about Got a Friend Trust, where we are with it, and what you think the vision for the future is.
Well,
and where's it come from? Remind me.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the things where we're challenging ourselves at the moment, because as you just talked with Lisa, life is changing dramatically. And I guess we're moving to a completely different area, something that is new to us, an area of understanding of how things have changed in the world, especially with poverty and need. And it was one of our trustees, Deborah, was telling us that an organization called Resolution Foundation estimates that 1.3 million people will be forced into absolute poverty next year. Yes. Including 500,000 children.
I heard that today. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that the challenge for us as YGAF is, what do we do? We've done so much, and we're so grateful to this community and for what we've done, and we being the community, how we've helped people. And you just talked about when you're in prison. Well, everyone has their own prison. It doesn't have to be physically behind bars. And, you've said many times on here, privately, publicly, that it's that little bit of kindness that makes a big difference. And you and I were talking the other day about the kindness that we show here as YGAF and on this community is intuitive. You don't have to think about it. And I think one of the things that we would like to bring with the community is that to alert us to someone that has a need, because it's no point in posting on the community Facebook, why don't you ask YGAF? Well, the person who posts that really contact us. Let us know what's going on. So the trustees can be aware and it can be alerted to it, and we can log it, we can make sure, we can make contact and start the ball rolling. We do have a process, and we have to have a process because that's healthy for a charity and a trust. But we've, through the last 90 shows and whatever we've done, we've made 39 grants, totaling nearly £8,000. And we couldn't have done that without just this community and the generosity. And we've said it time and time again, we don't want people to give if they can't give. We don't want that. That's not right. But we've come a long way, Jonathan. People who don't know, the trust was set up back in December in 2020, and we've come a long way of just being able to try and put our arm around people and to help people. And every single one has been humbling and moving to tears. But 90% of the requests we get in where someone is asking for on behalf of someone else.
Yes.
So I think that's where we have to have a different type of sense at the moment, I think.
I think we need to be moving towards something where people out there who are genuinely needy, and I think, the government has given out what they call a loan. Of course, it's putting people into further debt, effectively over 4 or 5 years, that they have to pay back. And for some people, of course, £200 is neither here nor there. For some people, it's life and death, and actually they don't know. So I heard one person, and this may affect you, for example, that if out there, that they run a CPAP machine. Now, we know Jerry, for example, Carrie on this show, he runs a CPAP machine. He's had an operation recently, and hopefully he won't have to run it. But it's very thirsty on the electricity, and the bill is going up for this person. I heard it on the radio, from £100 to £350 a month. She's on disability benefit. Where is she going to find, just on that, forget the cost of living increase, just on that, £250, and the company is not willing to be flexible. So how are people going to find 12 twos of 24, about £3,000 extra a month to run a CPAP machine, because the government hasn't yet given an exemption for those running oxygen machines and all that. So therefore, it's going to fall to people, organisations like ours, to help other people. Now, we will, Sue and I, we're going to give more, because we can give more when we can. Sometimes we have nothing, in which case we can't give. But when we can, we're going to try and lead the way. And that's what we've tried to do, model it. Just give a final word, Adrian, about what people can do and how they can do it.
Well, contact us, talk to us. A lot of people contact us through yourselves, Jonathan and Sue.
Yes.
And for that, we're really grateful. So that's one method. They can talk to us, they can email, it comes directly through to me, gotafriend2020@gmail.com. The other details of contacting are up on the screen. They just to talk to us, just to have a conversation with us. And we do respond. We respond as quickly as we can, and we just want everyone to feel that they are cared for, and there is whatever the need is there. We're never going to solve debt. We're not going to be able to.
No.
But YGAF was designed to help people over that bump in the road, to put an arm around them and to say, somebody cares with you. You had on a while back Christians Against Poverty, Colin, on there.
Colin, yeah.
People get into debt for 2 years before they talk to them. Yeah. A lottery card and bingo is not the answer.
No, it really isn't.
No.
And we must encourage people that. We must move on. We've got such a busy show. God bless you, my darling boy, and I will thank you for the work that you and the trustees continue to do. We pray that people will be giving more to you, and remember the maths of multiples. I say it every time, it doesn't take you to give much. £5, a tenner, the amount you spend on a coffee, give that to the trust, and the trust then looks after people and as much as they can. God bless you, Adrian, and give our love to Nicola.
From one old timer to another, Jonathan.
That's the one.
From one
Goodbye,
old
old
timer.
Oh, geezer. Can we? And now we just got with Sue. Read out
just very quickly.
And just for Rachel, can we have that? The very special thing that you've done for tonight.
Yes.
This.
Whilst Rachel's teeing that up, Roger Rebb raised a good point. He said the problem is asking for help. It's sometimes very difficult to admit and to ask. And,
Roger, thank you for that.
Yeah, and so thank you for that, Roger. And but maybe that YGAF is a possible source. And I think that's right.
Yes.
I think, and sometimes you might want to share it with a friend that you're not sure, and they can approach YGAF on your behalf. We really don't mind.
We don't mind
we
what you do.
Would like to know about need if we can.
And if
and
you
we
know
can
somebody,
help.
then contact us.
Yeah.
We will help you contact
Yeah.
them. And it's a very simple thing. Let's get it done. This is, I phoned Rachel earlier in the week, and Rachel's not being particularly, she's not well at all. She's losing her voice. And so Claire and Ben are helping out a lot tonight, and Rachel is really working hard tonight. But she formed this, and I said, I'd love to see a kind of a mixture of stuff of people, and we've got a friend that was the source song that everybody sung in the community that we recorded on the first album, Lockdown Session 1. And she's put together some memories for the last few years. And after that, it's going to be actual people having chats with us. Have a listen.
That's enough. That's enough.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight, where we're all in the mood for a melody. Well, you're on you, and you've got us feeling all right. When you're down and troubled, and you need some love and care, nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call
And you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You got a friend. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, your head together now and call my name out loud. Soon I'll be knocking at your door. Oh, you just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Oh, oh, oh. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you and desert you and take your soul if you let them. But don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You got a friend. Oh, darling, you got a friend. My sweet darling, you got a friend. Oh, honey, you got a friend. Oh, darling. Wow.
Wow, Rachel, you outdid yourself there, my girl. That
Thank
was
you
amazing.
For that, and Claire did that
Yeah,
beginning with
fantastic.
putting in
Just
the
brilliant,
Lord bless
girls.
keep
Thank you
Very
so much.
well done, guys.
Really,
and
really great.
I asked early in the week, and that's what she produced. And bless it. And I think actually I saw the thing on there. So could you put the share the love
hang
thing?
on a second.
Could you just put it up for me, please? Just make sure you share everybody. And we just put this up for you so you can see it clearly. Share. So, is share the Vol. What are you doing? Oh, for goodness sake.
Clearly one of our sons has been in here at some point.
That's great. Share the Vol. Now, we're going to have, with all those people that have been in, I thought what we needed to do was have a complete lot of people in here, from a varied bunch. So why don't we welcome, big round of applause for the whole lot of them in here, a real very varied bunch. Give us a wave, everybody. There we go. Look at you all.
Look at the motley crew that they are.
Now I'm gonna get them in one by one because I know what they're like. They'll talk for England, all of them. Yes, says Jerry. And so actually, Jerry, you poked your head up first, so you get the first mention. Jerry Cowie, where are you? Let's have a look.
Hello.
And there you are, Jerry. How are you? Are you good?
Not bad, thank you. I'm cold and I've got all my curtains closed and my heating on low, as we're all trying to say.
Yeah, as I think we're all doing that. We're running round in circles a lot, aren't we now? What about the operation? How are you?
Well, it's coming along. I was due to see the doctor about 3 weeks' time, but he's now brought it forward to this week, and so based on what I've told him, and if all goes well, then send me in for. Which is the right word for this? Activation.
An activation. You are the original bionic man. When did you join us, Jerry, just for memory's sake?
It was a few weeks in. I happened to look you up on Facebook and found that you were running your shows. It's basically how I came to be involved.
Fantastic.
It was always fantastic to have you. You're such a positive influence on so many people. You've been writing poems for people, for special occasions and everything else. And you are our kind of resident, you're our in-house...
Poet laureate.
Poet laureate, okay? Some of them are absolutely abysmally awful, and you should be taken out and shot for some of them. And there are others that are just works of art, my friend. And you wrote particularly for tonight. So could you read us one for tonight, please, mate?
Okay, here we go. There's been one thing constant nearly every Sunday night amid the war and pestilence of COVID gloom. What started out on mobile phones in natural light has become what we call JV Live from the Steinway room.
That's not bad.
The techie team surely gets the most prestigious vote for transforming the production with their expertise. They do their thing, not on the spot, they are in fact remote. Claire, Rachel and Ben, clever people are these. Throughout the pandemic, between COVID ills, JV and his manager, Sue, have always both been there. We've witnessed JV taking right on time, all his pills, as 2 hours of their busy lives the Veiras with us share. And the You've Got a Friend Trust, named after a song, has helped people out right across our great nation. On the first of 2 albums, we all sang along, chanting, "You've got a friend," and some gave a donation. So let's sit back and carry on enjoying tonight's show. JV with Sue's kidney and Sue with one of her own, along with the magic of the techie folk, as we all know. When it's over, we'll realise at least 2 hours will have flown. And thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Round of applause. Whee! Thank you very much. That's very, very good. Very good.
Very good.
Thank you, Jerry, and thank you for being part of the JV community in Croydon. Now, let's move on, can we, please? Reflection, Karen Bate, you've been a real member of this community with Heather since it began, and you've been friends for years from South London, and you've had some really tricky times, I know, through your own health and with Heather and looking after her so well. But just a kind of, I don't know, a somber reflection or a joyful reflection? I don't know, anything.
Just a reflection.
A reflection will do.
A bit of both, really. So, you know, I like driving. And I was thinking about the journey we've been on over the last 2 years. And I realised that it's like a motorway. Life is like a motorway. Not always the M1, where you get stuck in traffic. Perhaps more the M40, you know, where there's some really nice motorway services. And you pull off on the motorway service and you see all the sprinkling water. Guess where I am? And you pull in and you get relief, because you need relief when you get to a certain age. So you get relief.
Too much detail.
And then you stock up again on the hot drinks and the caffeine and the food. And then you're ready to face the journey, the onward journey. And I suppose the analogy for me is that that's what life has been like the last 2 years. Fairly isolated in a car, maybe on your own or with one or two other people. But Sunday nights for me have been just like a motorway services.
Aww.
Somewhere to stop off, get refueled, refreshed, get the stuff you need to help you carry on the journey. So for that, I am so thankful. I can't even begin to tell you what these Sunday nights do for me and for Heather. So thank you very much, guys. And thank you to the community, all the friends I've made. I now have more than one friend.
Oh, I know, because you were real Karen no mates until we came along. That's just fair enough. You know. Karen, it's so lovely, and it's so lovely to have your constant sharing. You share things, night blessings, and various things with people, and you're very, very honest and open with everyone. And for that, again, we've grown to love you too. Erica, where are you?
Erica and David.
Erica
Hello.
and David, where are you there?
Hi.
Hello, Erica and David. Nice to see you both. How are you?
Recovering from the COVID.
Oh, yes.
You too.
You as well,
I've got a
yeah.
COVID brain at the moment, so I've jotted some notes down because
well done.
my brain just doesn't work. I've got the COVID croak as well.
Oh, excellent. How are you, David?
I'm getting over it slowly, with occasional long cough. I shan't go into details.
Okay.
No, I'm with you. I'm doing the same thing, exactly. Every now and again, I'm one of those. So,
Yes.
however, we cough together in different parts of the country. Just
do.
give us a reflection, would you please, Erica, on just a little bit of what it's meant over these past 2 years for you.
Well, we've always been huge fans of yours, JV, for a number of years, and we collected videos and CDs and books and everything along the way and met you at different times. So when we heard the live streaming was going to be coming on, we got really excited because we thought, great, this is really going to perk our week up. And so that began our weekly ritual, which we've never missed, every single one live.
Fantastic.
We've watched and been with you and been so appreciative in every way. And the excitement that we had then has never waned. Each week we still feel that excitement when Sunday evening is coming around.
Fantastic.
So it really meant that for a couple of hours in the middle of all this awful pandemic, we were able to forget about our troubles and all that was going on in our lives. And as you opened up your hearts and home to us, we felt so welcome. And I think that was really important. And the sort of the entertainment we look forward to was fantastic. And your generosity and compassion, I think, spilled over into the community. And it's had like a ripple effect that's gone out into the community and then it's spread out from there, which is a wonderful thing. And we thank God for that. We thank God, too, for the people that we feel are our friends, even though we've never met them, and the kind and the prayerful support that we all receive from each other. And I think there have been some really special moments for us. One particularly was Richard Lennox. He was just amazing. And we really enjoyed him. And then
Big shout out for Richard. Big shout out for Richard.
There's so many, we couldn't mention them all, but they all brought something special to the evening in a different way. And I think also the music, the beautiful renditions of the songs, enhanced by Sue, of course, and not forgetting the kidney really enhanced things, didn't it? And then the piano playing and the variations on a tune. Mark Borisov's The Wheels on the Bus. We love those. So, and then all the guests have been so excellent and inspirational. And I think another aspect which is really important is that we feel, JV and Sue, that you know us and you understand our situations. You're aware of those different things that people are having to cope with, and that makes a big difference. It makes it feel so much more of a family.
Yeah.
And I know people enjoy having the dedications, and not least us. We've had several at different times for different reasons, but the most memorable was on David's 80th birthday. Back in the days when JV did Phone a Friend. That's going back a while, isn't it?
Oh gosh, yes.
So there we were, tucked up in bed, because that's what we normally do. We're not normally dressed up like this. We're tucked up in bed in our gym jams with a box of chockies at our side, and suddenly my phone starts vibrating, and I think, what's going on? What's going on? And I leapt out of bed and ran into the other room with the phone, and it was JV saying he wanted to speak to David. So I called David through, and David looks stunned. He doesn't know what's going on at all. But it was just so lovely to have that chat and have happy birthday sung, and then the dedication that I'd actually asked for him. And it really made David's day, because he hadn't been able to see family, hadn't been able to go anywhere. And that was so special. And it was a kindness, I know, that you'll never forget, will you, David? No. It was really, really special.
That's very special.
We're just so grateful to you both, and to Claire and Rachel and Ben for all the hard work, the selfless work that you do, even when there've been health problems. We're really, really grateful. And so we just say a massive thank you.
Thank you, Erica,
Thank you, Erica
David.
David.
It was such a pleasure to meet you recently.
First time we met.
It was David, it was so lovely to meet you recently again.
We sang and sang
you sang and sang. My memory of you, and I must move on, but my memory of you was singing those old choruses and those old hymns at the top of your voice, and it was conducting, not forgetting the conducting.
That's right, yeah.
It was brilliant. Lovely to have you both on as such loyal members. I'm going to move left. As I'm looking at you now, into who Sue described as Garth and Joy. So I'm,
never forgiven now.
No, you will, darling. You will be forgiven, but not anytime soon. 2 or 3 years.
Gareth and Joy.
So Gareth and Joy, let me see you up on the screen, because you're special. A couple of special people.
Thank you.
Oh, where are you?
Speak up.
Speak up.
We're still here. Yes.
Ah,
good.
There you are.
Excellent.
Tell us a little bit about what makes it special for you.
Well, I'll let Joy go first, because she wanted to say something particular.
Go on then, Joy.
Oh, well, I was going to say, for me, it was finding something that we both liked and we could both watch together. Because Gareth and I are very different. And I often say I don't know how we ever got together, because we're complete opposites. And we spent a lot of the lockdown sitting in different rooms, watching different things on different televisions. And then along came this Sunday night JV and Sue concert, and we discovered that we had something that we both liked and enjoyed watching together. So...
How special.
Yes,
that's very special.
Sunday nights are very special. We always have cheese and biscuits and a glass of wine.
Excellent. Excellent. And what about you, Gareth?
I think for me, by the time I get to Sunday night, I'm often really tired. And so Monday is my rest day. So I'm kind of winding all the way down to get ready for Monday. And Sunday evenings with you two has actually just been a joy and something to kind of soothe the end of the week. And give us some fantastic music, really, really bad jokes.
Yeah, about that. I think they're quite good, but anyway.
And a chance to insult John Dick. So
yeah,
it's all good.
So it's got to be all good then. Yeah. It is nice, and I just say that this morning was a lovely thing that happened. We got up very early and decided. What did we decide to do, Gareth?
we were sitting in the front row of church. I was just getting ready to preach, and this person came in, and Joy said, "That could almost be JV," and said, "Oh, it is."
And we went to their church, folks, in Romsey, which is about an hour and 10 minutes away.
It was
from
a fabulous
and it was a lovely service.
Lovely.
And one of the things I just want to highlight to everybody here, you really brought out for me, the moment for me was when you talked about, when Jesus said, it was the washing of the feet of Jesus by Mary with all that with the nard, with the incredibly expensive perfume. And people say, what do you do that for? You know, Judas saying, we could have fed the poor, rather disingenuously, but he said that. And then you said, and Jesus says, the poor are always with you. And you said, and that harks back, and everybody knew there that it harked back. Just tell us what you said this morning, because it really does talk about where we are with You Got a Friend Trust.
Jesus was quoting Deuteronomy, so a phrase that everybody would have known, all the people around that dinner table. And in the Deuteronomy quote, it doesn't just say, you'll always have the poor with you. It says, speaking for God, therefore I command you to be generous and open-handed to all your fellow citizens. And that bit is the bit we often miss.
Yes.
So God commands us to be gracious.
Yeah. Do you know what? That was my takeaway, and I have to say that was worth the petrol money to get there, which was I arranged the mortgage before I went, and it was worth the petrol money just for that, and it was fantastic. It was really an exciting thing to do.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
You
were really well behaved as well.
Sorry?
You were really well behaved.
I was actually.
He was.
I didn't say anything. You know, normally
No
I'd
heckling.
say something. No heckling. I didn't do any of that. Thank you both for your presence in the community. Thank you for your contributions to services and things like that. It's been you've been a real treasure, and the fact, most of all, because you love Billy Joel, and of course, how can anybody be bad if he likes Billy Joel? So I will give you a request the next time we have one. Okay. Right, moving on. Yes. Finally, thanks guys.
Not finally.
And we must move to Romsey.
You've got two
more couples. And who?
Let's
who
have
we got?
Alan and Chris.
Oh yes, let's have Alan and Chris. But there are you down on my right, the bottom right. And now, hi guys, nice to see you both. And have you been watching from the beginning? I think you have.
Yeah, we watched right from the very beginning, Jonathan, because I saw you several years ago, and so I was on your Facebook page and saw it and came up and we watched it. And from then on, it's been a real lifeline for us. It really has. And I mean, one of my highlights, I think, was seeing you both in your Christmas outfits that first Christmas. But actually, it was so special because we just felt we were part of a family. We couldn't see our own family.
No.
We felt we were part of a family. And it was just so lovely. And I would just say that I'm sorry that this is quite late because we would have had a makeover, but as you can see, we didn't have time.
No, I can see that quite clearly.
Especially from Alan's point of view.
Well, from Alan's point of view, I mean, how dare you turn up like this on the screen? I put a jacket on and everything.
I'm sorry, but she won't let me do anything else.
No. It's very difficult living with a very dominant woman, isn't it?
It is, very.
I would say too, we've absolutely loved all the banter. I mean, we've even quite laughed at John Dix and Stephen McCready's jokes.
No, don't go that far, love. Don't go that far.
No, you're quite right. We've got to speak the truth now.
There is a line that you have to draw.
Yeah, exactly. But Alan, what are your impressions over these 2 years?
One of my real thoughts is that because it's been requested so many times, God of the Moon and Stars.
Yes.
We had the privilege of being soloists in one of his musicals, Hopes and Dreams.
Yes, knew it well.
And that song was one of my solos. And to sing it to people in a packed theatre for 3 nights,
yes.
To me, I felt that to be a real privilege.
Yeah,
and to keep hearing you sing it and all over the place. People are hearing that song.
I would just say yours is slightly better, Jonathan.
Do you know, it's such a comfort when you say that, because the real worry would be, and I think you should stop singing it and let me sing it instead.
Oh, I think Alan's version is better.
Actually, it is a privilege, and it's a great song. We're so pleased to have you guys, and it was so lovely to see you in person, in concerts and things like that, and it's so lovely when you guys turn up to a concert.
Well, we're hoping to turn up at Lyndhurst.
Oh, great.
Yes,
Lovely.
It looks like a great venue.
And it would be really, really nice to see Sue.
Yeah, all right,
Well,
Alan.
what can I say?
Calm down. Calm down wherever you live. I can't remember where you live. Where do you live? Pool. Oh, very
Lovely.
flashy pool. Anyway, thank you guys, and
Thank you both.
Finally, because we've got to move on.
Last but not least, the birds.
Absolutely, the birds, and the feeding of the birds now. And it's nice to see you both, Jim and Lynn. And Lynn, you've gone through so much, both of you, in the last few weeks. My goodness, I have to say your hair's looking fantastic, and yours isn't looking bad either, Lynn. And sorry, just a little joke there.
Just.
So tell us a little bit, just briefly, what it means to you, this community.
I'm going to start, and Jim will always finish. 2 years ago, I'd literally just lost my mum, having lost my dad 3 months previously. I just felt was feeling a bit lost. I'm a caring person. I love to be doing things. And then all of a sudden, you couldn't do things, could you? You were stuck at home and couldn't see family, friends, church, work, all those things. Love music. Happened to follow Jonathan and Jeff Lucas. Saw that both of them were going to be together. So I thought, I can't miss this, can I? So we tuned in that night that Jeff Lucas was in as well.
Yeah, great night.
And, just found something completely different, not just music, but actually, I know Chris has already said it now, but I loved the banter. I really enjoyed the humour. Stupid, childish humour, really. But,
How dare you? I mean, that's highly developed, worked on.
I'm just taking notes, Lynn, all right?
I mean, I had a writing team, Lynn. What are you talking about?
Could do better.
I think it was us. I have to blame the boys, and I remember calling them boys, and it was Gareth and Stuart and John and Rob as well, I think. But it was things like, have you got your popcorn? Where are we sitting? In the Royal Box. And all of a sudden, it was sort of brought it all to life. So it wasn't just that you were watching something, you were taking part in it. And that was that's what I wanted. I wanted to feel like, here we are, we're participating. And, we sort of started to message along with the shows. And, alongside the show, we were sort of saying these silly things often the time. But sometimes there would be really serious things that people would say. And then it would come to your last songs on a Sunday night. And I'd feel really sad. I love those songs. But I would feel really sad that it was finishing. And you wouldn't hear from those people for another week. And then sort of, 5 months later, you started JV Community, and to start with, it was just like a continuation, wasn't it? So almost as soon as you were finishing, people were on the community going,
And it's 800 and something now, people,
I know,
and it's lovely, and it's a great thing. Jim, what about you during this time?
I've been really struck by the fact that what we see and experience on a Sunday is reality. And that's particularly you and Sue, Jonathan. It's the two of you. And there's something about how you do things and why you do things which almost jumps off the screen. And it's particularly struck me in the last few months. So most of you know that Lynn was taken very unwell on New Year's Day. We had an awful diagnosis of advanced cancer, and not much good news in those first few days. And absolutely fascinating that both you and Sue, and indeed so many people in the community, almost all of whom we've never met, I've never seen, and I regret I may never meet. But what I've seen and what I've experienced is a love and compassion and a care that comes from your mouth, Jonathan. It comes from Sue's mouth. If it's not just that you're modelling, it's just that you're. I think what was said just now about from Gareth's sermon about it's not just about sort of serving, it's how we do things, why we do things, and that sense of, well, here's me rather traumatized by what's going on, and actually all these people who care and they phone or they message and they're genuinely concerned, and that's come out of these Sunday evenings. It's what we experience, what I experienced, and it's what I go on experiencing, and I am moved, honestly.
And we are moved by that. I mean, we're moved by your own story, your own narrative, and the narrative of so many people, but particularly at the moment for you guys who are going through an extreme time, and we've been there, not with cancer, but with life-threatening illnesses for me, and major operations for Sue and for me. You know that we've trod that path of unsurety and what happens next. And I can only say that we stand with you, with people right across the panoply of this community. We stand with genuine hearts. We don't stand as above you, we stand with you, alongside you in this journey. And that's what's been such a privilege to be part of this. And the hundreds and hundreds of people who are tuning in each week. And people are saying, oh, you should be finishing. Not at all, because these people represented right in front of me here represent the people that this is for, and so many others. The Judy and Chris Steeles, for example, two people who have really, Chris has enlivened our hearts. He's quickened our hearts with his simple faith and his understanding of what that means for him. And Judy, sometimes in her despair. So many people, Rachel Eves, so much pain that she's been through. There are people over and over, and now with Lucas in hospital, and Chris, who will be more nervous, and we stand with you. And although you may not be of faith, we stand with you almost even more because of that. We want to stand next to you because we are your brothers and your sisters. We are in human terms, we stand with you. I just want to say thank you to all of you.
Yes,
Sue,
thank you all. Yeah, we love you guys, and it's a privilege to have you in our front room every week. And our journey these last 2 years would have been so much harder, so much sadder if we hadn't had you all around. And we are so grateful, and we'll continue to be grateful for your presence in our lives. It's a two-way thing, guys. It's not us doing something for you. You do a huge amount for us, and we are privileged indeed to have you in our lives.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you. God bless you. I'm going to wave to you all. Yay! And wave that. And thank you so much. And Rachel, can we have Just Around the Bend? And then we're going to have our very special guest in, Becca Legg, who's married to Steve, lovely Steve Legg, who we had a couple of times in. And this song is about optimism. It's a song I wanted, and Paul Field, he, bless his heart, I gave him a few chords, and he came up with this fantastic idea of Just Around the Bend, and I think we need a little bit of that. And I dedicated this song to, who was it, to Lisa. It was to Lisa, Just Around the Bend. You talked about optimism in South Africa, and it was just lovely to be able to see all these people. And here it is, Just Around the Bend.
Long time traveling down this hard and rocky road. We're all just trying to survive, walking together and sharing the load, doing all we can to stay alive. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. We may be weary, and sometimes we just don't know how we can keep on keeping on. Take one day at a time and trust that history will show. When we're united, we are strong. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. So take care of each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again somewhere just around the bend. Of each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again, I believe, just around the bend. Just around the bend. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. Just around the bend.
And we're back in the room. Well, back in the room with you all, and it's a lovely celebration just around the bend, and that was done by Rachel, that video, written by Paul Field and myself, and it's a great song, Just Around the Bend, on the album Lockdown Sessions 2, if you wish to buy it. A great album that people were buying the other night, actually. The great thing we've got tonight is it's interesting talking to people about other people. And the best recommendation you can ever have is when somebody else talks highly about somebody. And she said, Sue Rinaldi said about this lady who's on next, she is what she says on the tin. She is the most lovely person, and she has a real passion for what she does. And of course, nearly every single guest I've had on over the 2 years, and they've had some great special guests, have all had, it's all about passion that we care about, because that's the reality. That's the stuff that people really pick up on. That's the pulse of who they are. It runs through their DNA. And goodness, she was right. Steve Legg, who came on and does his mind reading and making my wife look like an idiot, did that honestly.
Without moving his lips.
Without losing his lips. He did it really well. And it was great. And we had a great time with him here live. And then we went in touch with his lovely wife, Becca, and she's here tonight, and she's got some really important stuff to talk about. So Bex, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm a little emotional after that lovely introduction. I should take Sue everywhere I go. She's a wonderful friend.
Yeah, well, she is actually, and she's been a great friend to us over these 2 years. being one of those people who really has stuck by us. Her and your husband, I might just say, who's been, I mean, it's been a kind of joint loyalty, I suppose, but it's been something, you know, he's featured us in the magazine, and when I thought I'm too old for magazines, you know, I don't do pictures anymore. Used to do that when I had hair and everything else, but those were long days, long ago. Anyway, Becca, we're not here to talk about Steve, we're here to talk about you. So what is it you do then for life? Because I'm always interested in the books that people have behind them. What book have you got on display at the moment? Is it nothing?
I'm very holy.
Go on.
It's my Bible.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't give me that. Oh, the old Bible one. Yeah,
well-worn one, a well-worn one.
Well-worn Bible, okay. Right next to Enid Blyton.
Like a whole load of different sorts, really. It's I've actually got a whole load about women and domestic abuse and stuff that is, you know, very pertinent to what I do as a job. So that I can easily reach and grab and, you know, bring it forward. But I think my room's even smaller than your room. I'm just in this little tiny office and I can touch all the walls. It's rather nice.
It's fantastic, actually. It's nice. It's kind of nice to be quite enclosed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some things like
definitely.
that. So you help run a church, do you? Is that as well? Is that what you do as well as run an organisation?
So until about 2 years ago, I was on the leadership team of a church, and nowadays I just get to sit and do the easy bit and listen. And I've just started being able to preach at the church where I'm at. But no, I used to be on a church leadership team, which was an absolute privilege and a joy, but a huge responsibility as well.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's one of those, as Sue was saying to us, it's a great, Sue Rinaldi. And however, so what have you moved into then? You've moved out of church leadership. You're part of an organisation. You formed an organisation. Tell us what happened.
So no, I had an interview on the very last day before lockdown in 2020. We didn't know it was the last day before lockdown at that point. To take over the role of CEO of a Christian charity called Restored. And Restored was founded in 2010, so we're 12 years old just about. And it began as the brainchild of Mandy Marshall and Peter Grant, two people who worked for Tear Fund at the time. He was their international director, and she was their gender justice specialist. And in a long story cut short, they were at a World AIDS conference in New Mexico years and years ago, and felt very strongly like God spoke to them in this very unusual and unexpected place about the plight of women, about violence against women and girls, and just the huge problem and issue that it is around the world. And Peter always says that he's never experienced the Holy Spirit like he did in that UN conference room. And he felt like God was asking him, what's the church doing about this? And what are the men doing about it? And out of that, Restored was formed. And, 10 years later, I came to take over and kind of lead it into a new chapter.
And that's interesting to me. I mean, I said to you earlier, didn't I, that a lot of it happened. I was listening. I was up very, very early this morning, and on Radio 4 Extra, they had a lady on who was doing. She took the calls for ambulance work, so she would interpret what somebody was saying. So she said one of the things, and it was very interesting. Is she said you learn to listen more carefully to what women are saying and how they're saying it. She said, so for example, then they played a reconstruction of a woman who phoned up and said, hello, and she said, it was 999 she phoned, and she said, hello, I'd like a 15-inch pizza, please. And she said, you do realise this is 999? Yes, that's right, with a double topping of this, that, and the other, and I'd like it here, if you can, in 20 minutes. So she said, she stopped, and went, you are in trouble. That's right. I mean, that's right. That's correct. Are there any weapons involved? No. But I'd like it if you could get here very quickly, as quickly as you can, because we're all very hungry. And it turned out this was a call of a domestic abuse. And it just so happened, Bex, that I was listening to this morning, and they were saying that 1 in 4 women in their life will be assaulted in a domestic context, and 1 in 6 men. So I suddenly thought, I'm aware of the problem, but I'm not really aware of the problem. So help us be aware of the problem. Tell us what's going on out there.
Yeah, I'm just sat there thinking, what a clever woman that she thought to go through that procedure in her head.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
you know, because it's such a, because actually asking for help can be really dangerous in that kind of situation. But those statistics are right. 1 in 4 women, 1 in 6 men will be subjected to domestic abuse in some shape or form in their lifetime. And of course, domestic abuse can look like all sorts of things. It can look like a black eye, and it can look like, you know, that extreme risk to life that perhaps that lady was in on the telephone. But actually also there are different types of abuse that perhaps we don't always recognize or know to call that, and yet they're just as damaging, if not more so sometimes, than physical abuse. And I think it's helpful to understand that sometimes, and I think it helps them to recognize, oh, so that's going on and it's still serious. So there's, you know, psychological and emotional abuse. Emotional abuse, people, the best way to understand it is somebody who's if you've been constantly belittled, constantly undermined with your confidence, constantly put down, you're never good enough, you can never make somebody happy. That's the kind of emotional abuse. And psychological is a little bit different. It sometimes is helpful to understand it as when you are made to doubt your own sanity. You know, so there was a case in court recently, which was a really good, well, it's an awful example, but it helps to see it, where there was a woman, and actually it was in High Court, and her husband was a mental health worker, and he over the years had persuaded her that she was bipolar, that there were a whole bunch of problems, because every time she said, you know, what, you know, about something he'd done, he'd persuade her that she was making it up. He'd persuade her that actually she was overreacting. And then of course there's sexual, financial and coercive control. All of it boils down to trying to control somebody else, which, you know, isn't a good thing.
No, Sue.
So, I mean, Bex, just seems to be an enormous problem, and just an atrocious statistic, as Stuart McCready's just said. So what can you and your organisation do to help?
So we are very focused on the church. So when we began 12 years ago, we were set, and we were working internationally because we'd come out of TIFF, and working with organisations around the world to help them, you know, speak up about violence against women and girls. But over the years, we recognised that domestic abuse is the form of violence that most women are likely to experience. And then we realised that actually, and we've done quite a bit of research with the universities of Coventry and Leicester that showed that actually, even within the church, it's still 1 in 4, which is devastating, but really important. For
really, even in the church? Yeah. So that transfers directly?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Transfers directly, which is devastating.
Yes.
Really. And yet actually it matters that we tell, that we let people know that, because it means people don't think, oh, what a terrible thing that happens out there. It's a terrible thing that happens in here too. And then the other thing we discovered was that actually people of faith, Christian women and men for that matter, will take longer to leave and longer to speak up because of some of the extra barriers that their faith puts in place, which we might not, again, recognise. So as an organisation, so what those barriers might look like are, you know, I was raised a Christian. I've been a Christian for as long as I can remember. And I've grown up knowing that, like, we forgive and we persevere, and marriage is for life, and you know, and you just, you know, and in some parts of the church it will be really emphasized that actually it's your job to submit and to obey, and you know, and in some parts of the church even more, they might talk about suffering is a good thing because it makes you like Jesus. And so depending on your understanding of some of that theology, it can really feel like there's nothing you can do. You've just got to persevere, try harder, pray harder. And so what we do as Restored is twofold, really. One is we really work to speak to the church, equip the church, help them recognize there's a problem, and train church leaders, because most church leaders aren't trained at all in domestic abuse. So we do training and resourcing. But the other thing we've got is a survivors network, because we recognize that there are an awful lot of Christian women out there who can get help locally, the same as any other woman, but what they can't get is answers to their questions. And they've got some really big faith questions, really big concerns, and often have become quite disconnected from their church. For perhaps if they've left their husband, they've been asked to leave the church, or they felt like they couldn't stay. And so to find a space which, you know, where people understand what they've been through and their faith and their questions, it just helps. You know, what we try and be is a space where women can find, you know, in the name really, restoration, where they can come back and be restored in Jesus, and, you know, find a way of moving forward and learning how to flourish again.
What does that look like on a practical level? I'm aware of you know, so when you talk about contacting, people contact. Do they then come together, or is it all online? Is it on the phone? I mean, what happens? Take me through a typical somebody who phones up or contacts you. What's the process?
So the very best way to get in touch with us is through our website, and I know that the link's on the screen at the bottom. And if you just put the word survive, /survivors at the end, it goes straight to the page. But it's easy to find, and on there you can fill out a little form, and it just sends an email through, and it enables you then to join the Survivors Network. And we've got over 400 women in this network, but you can join at all kinds of levels. It's excellent. So once you're in, it can be as simple as just receiving an email with some information every couple of weeks. That's all that you want to do, that's fine. And then you can access this amazing archive of information that we've got that looks at theological questions, well-being questions, how, top tips and understanding your mental health, and understanding domestic abuse, and understanding how to cope with your kids, and what do you say to your children when you've been through all of this. There's a whole wealth of resources. But in the last year, this time last year, we just pioneered and just had a little go at putting together a Zoom group. And we used another, it wasn't a survivor recovery course. What we actually used was the Kintsugi Hope course that some people might have come across. It's just
indeed. So in fact, Patrick, we're talking about Patrick Regan and that's the one. We had Lynn and Mick.
Lynette and Mick. Yeah.
They came on the show. And she was one, and I want to get her in. It would be great, actually. What a trio that would be. You can have Sue singing a few songs, right? You can have Lynn and yourself coming in and working together and looking at. I think it would be quite a nice show.
We'd have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, we would. You would, and a lot of dialogue between you. I quite like that. That's a nice idea for the future. Okay, go on. So you were talking about that.
Well, Lynette and Patrick's wife as well, Diane, got in touch with me and said, well, we'd really love to understand how Kintsugi works from a survivor's point of view. Could you have a look at it and pilot it and adapt it for survivors? So I said, yeah, of course we can. And then realised it's quite a lot of work. But piloted it this time last year. And we put an email out to this network of women who we, at that point, never, there was a little bit of email interaction, occasional phone calls, but we are a small organisation. We hadn't done that much. We sent out an email and we thought, we don't know what uptake there will be. And all the 12 spaces had all gone within 2 hours. That was it. We've got 12 women. And within the first session, one of the women, well, it was an incredible group, 12 women from all over the UK. One woman dialed in from the States, from America. She got up at 4 a.m. to be part of the group. And within that very first session, one woman just went, oh, can we just stop for a minute? And I said, yeah, no, of course you can. And I didn't know what she was going to say. And she said, I just realised I finally found my people, because you get it. It was just this moment, and all the hairs, they still do, like the hairs on the back of my neck go up, and I was like, oh, we're gonna have to keep doing this. And that group that began a 12-week course a year ago, they still meet every Wednesday morning, and they're just such good friends, and they do Bible studies, and they go through other stuff, and they sometimes just have coffee and chat. But it's become this life-changing community for women who felt so isolated and so lonely, and like nobody understood, and now they've got friends. So we've run more groups, and those groups, and every group just keeps on meeting once we finish the course, and it's wonderful. And what we're trying to do is to do more of that. So we've done more groups, and now we're running recovery courses as well. And then we've got an online forum where women can join. It's on Facebook. It's just a private group where actually we've got about 90 women in there, and they're just able to share their stories and cheer each other on, or say, I'm going to court this weekend or this week, and some people pray, or this has happened. Has anybody got any ideas how I can handle it? And it's just this supportive, wonderful space. But no, I do dream of, my brain's dreaming at the moment of how can I get everyone together physically? How could we have a retreat or do something?
Yeah, actually, it's so interesting, that, isn't it, Bex? I mean, this community started 2 years ago, not unlike what you've done.
Yeah.
And the community started, you heard the reports from people personally, how it's, for some people, it's saved them, because what you do in creating a community is you create a place. I think finding my people is just a fantastic phrase. It's one of those great emotional phrases, isn't it? That you think, when somebody said to us, oh, do you think you're going to finish now? Now you're out doing concerts again, and you're doing, and we just think, no, we're not.
Yeah.
No, how do you finish it? What does finishing it look like? I mean, we've got, of course, the tech team that are busy and they're working and all the rest of it. So we rely a lot on them to do what we're doing here. So that requires that. But also it's about that C word, the community word, that people find definition in community, not being on their own. Just suddenly finding that people get them. They get where they're coming from, whether they're of faith or no faith in our situations. A lot of people come and they have no faith at all, or they have a very different faith, and it's a lovely thing. So were you going to ask?
Can I just ask a little question here? You're talking about helping women, Bex, but we know that it is a problem for men as well. Is there something similar for men?
Do you know there's not? And I wish there was. I'd love there to be, and I'd love us to be big enough that we could do both. But and as an organisation, because we were started as this, how do we help the church end violence against women and girls? That's very much our focus. When it comes to our training and how we work with churches, we equip churches to support men and women. And like the vision is, the dream is that we make local church so brilliant at this that we're not necessary, we're not needed, but we're not there yet. But actually, men could access a lot of the information, and we've got a couple of resources. This is one, I'll put it up. Restored Survivors Handbook, and it is written for women, but actually everything that's in there would apply for men as well. It's all in there, and it would all carry over. And I think
Could you just hand that? Could you hold it up again, please? Hold it up again. All right, leave it up there for a bit. First of all, how much is the book? Sorry, Sue.
I was going to say the tech team have actually pinned on the chat something about it. So if you could just reinforce that by telling us a little bit about it.
And tell us how much it is.
So this Restored Handbook is an excellent, as a resource, it's in 3 sections. The first section, like practical realities of probably like leaving an abuser, basically housing, finance, parenting, legal, all the rest of it. Middle section about well-being. How do you recover? How do you get over? And a final section that looks at some of the theological questions that Christians, can particularly struggle with. And it's such a good book that Women's Aid recommend it to their refugees as well, because there's simply nothing else like it. And you can buy it on the shop on our website, which is easy to find. But actually, it's £10 if you want to buy it, but for survivors, we send that out free. So if you're a survivor, you can. There's a form on the website, and we'll send that to you to somewhere that's safe. And that's, but it is excellent resource and pretty on the inside, easy to read.
Yes, easy on the eyes. That's great, actually. So it's not too wordy, in other words. So not too worthy and not too wordy, but I think you understand. There are people out there who don't read a lot of books, and but I saw it, and it's actually very helpful
as well.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Yeah, you do need that. You dip in, and people can look at it and say, "Oh, that's me." Yeah. Because there will be people out there who are listening who have either suffered it or
in it
at the moment. And I encourage people. I get this. I think actually I came from the Brethren, and a lot of people just existed in that world where it existed. Everybody knew it existed, and yet they just there was a conspiracy of silence about this kind of thing, and they believed this was their job to just endure, and it was probably their fault anyway. And so my next question is to you, because often it is men perpetrating violence, intimidation, humiliation, all of these things. I've read the books, I've read the literature, and I have followed this on women. So what could you, Bexleg, say to men out there who are tempted to intimidate their wives, their partners, in their homes, humiliation? What can you say to them?
The only person you're ever meant to control is yourself, and nobody else can actually ever make you happy. So if you're not happy, and if you don't feel like the world's the way you want it to be, then the only person you can really fix that is yourself, is you working that through. And you can control somebody, but that doesn't make them love you, and actually that will never make you satisfied. So finding the help that you need to learn how to be content in and of yourself, to know how to be responsible for your own well-being. That's the most important thing you can ever do. And owning up to that and stepping forward into that is actually the route to much, much more happiness than trying to control the people around you and create the world you want by force.
Yeah, that's very,
powerful
very
words, Bex, powerful words.
So there is redemption. I mean, do you believe for men like that there is a kind of a second chance, there is redemption? away from prison and all of that?
I think there has to be, I believe in a God who can do anything, and I believe that every human being has it in them to change. But I also recognise that often people don't really want to change, or they don't. It's frightening to change, or it's too much, or actually they just have no intention whatsoever. And I think it's one of the traps we can fall into when we're trying to support people who are going through it, is to hear somebody say sorry and assume that they mean it, or assume they're going to do something to change. And we hear far too many stories of survivors where their ex-husbands or their husbands have done a great show of looking terribly sorry and saying all the right things, and actually nothing's ever changed. And I think it's so hard, because I'm an optimist, and I believe anything's possible. But at the same time, you have to hold on to reality sometimes, and have honestly wisdom of Solomon to spot the difference sometimes. So it's that holding hope, but actually always putting safety first is so important.
Yes. Bex, this is lovely.
Oh, Bex, I think we're going to have you back again, I'm afraid.
Definitely going to have you back. And I really fancy that whole idea of having all three of you in. And, I think it just moves me to hear this. And I know it's widespread, and I know we know people for whom it's been a real issue. And it's been difficult to know where to head, particularly within the Christian church. There's a guilt associated with it, and you've broken up the family, and look at what you've done, couldn't you work at it, blah, blah, blah. But you've really helped us to understand that just a little bit in these 25 minutes. Thank you for coming on and being patient and waiting for us on this night. Normally we wouldn't be that late, but I wanted to get everything in tonight. And so we'll put all your stuff up. And if anybody is out there, just a final word from you, and then we're going to I'm going to sing a couple of songs, then we're going to go home. So just a final word from you, Bex, of hope.
Well, a word from me from hope is that there is always hope. And, God doesn't create any of us to live in hardship, in control, in anything like that. And actually, there is always somebody out there who'd like to help. And perhaps it's good for us as well, just to mention that the domestic abuse helpline is there 24/7 hours a day. And that's 0808 2000 24/7. So that's.
Do it again. Say it again.
0808 2000 24/7.
There we go. And you can go back on this and see it again. That's lovely. Thank you, Bex, and give our love to your dear man, and give him. And he's talked about coming and having fish and chips with you. I can't wait. I'm injecting as I speak to get all that carb into my body. And Littlehampton, I love Littlehampton. You know why Littlehampton? Let me tell you, Bex. We used to go to our Sunday school outings from North London, right, to Littlehampton, right on the front there, right. And we weren't allowed to go to any of the amusements, never allowed to do that because it was a Sunday school. And I remember all the older people, they were dressed in their suits right on the beach, suits and hats. And it was fish and chips for the whole 160 people that used to go to Sunday school. They used to go on that beach. And there it was, Shrewsbury Gospel Hall, sitting right on the front. And whenever I go, we always go to that little spot there, just to say, look, there's Littlehampton. What a lovely place. Anyway, we'll be down there soon, and sorry we couldn't meet last week, COVID and all that. But we'll talk again. God bless you.
Thank you, Bex. Thank you.
Big love.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. Now, I think that I've been asked, do Lord or Simple Pleasures. There's a song that you do not know, and that actually, Simple Pleasures is one of those that was written by Bryn, and I think I'm just going to sing it for you.
And can I just say, let's do this for Michael and Lorraine Cooper, who have their 53rd wedding anniversary on Tuesday.
Fantastic.
I think you understand the simple nature of this one.
Here we go. Called Simple Pleasures. Bryn, thank you for writing this. And it's called Don't Get Much Better Than This. Don't get much better than this. Simple pleasures we sometimes miss. Everybody could make their own list. Don't get much better than this. I remember when I was younger, nothing ever seems to satisfy. Now I'm older, much wiser. All the years have opened up my eyes. Started out strong and I lost my way. Let's see Sue on the camera. I took the wrong turn in the road. When I look back and the lessons I've learned, there's only one thing I know. It don't get much better than this. The simple pleasures we sometimes miss. To love and be loved is the greatest thing. It don't get much better than this. Come on, dance, so come on, give me some dance. Yeah, all right. You get weary on your journey. Life's troubles seem to drag you down. Complications, frustration make you feel it's a waste of time. I believe we're just a passing through. I'm never gonna be here again. You gotta make the most of every day and live your life while you can. Don't, I tell you, it don't get much better than this. The simple pleasures we sometimes miss. The comfort of a friend when you're feeling down. It don't get much better than this. It don't get much better than this. Everybody could make their own list. A good old amp and a nice guitar. Brendan, it don't get much better than this. For me, it would be a new Steinway. How about that?
What?
Yes.
Another piano?
I think we put another piano just along there. Come on, Ben, play that saxophone. Oh yeah, so groovy. Well, you can keep your games and your fantasies. They never meant that much to me. To save the future, we must face the past. Try to make a good thing last. Oh, it don't get much better than this. Everybody could make their own list. May not be cool, but it sure feels right. It don't get much better
here on earth.
Don't get much better
here on earth.
Don't get much better than this. Thank you very much.
Oh, big change of pace.
That was, wasn't it? And actually, can I have now? I was going to do, and we're going to be a bit late, okay, everybody? So just get used to it, suck it up, go and get a cup of coffee. Or
You're in your pyjamas already.
Yeah, in your pyjamas already. And this one, we sung right at the beginning, if you remember. And I wrote this one with Paul years ago, actually. Across the changes through the years, eternal God, your love comes down to lead us on. So as we walk with you, our every step is holy ground. You are the God of endless love, Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. And we will seek to know you more in every word of every prayer, and you will keep your timeless faithfulness. Through every breath you will be there. You are If doubts and fears come closing in, we lean on you when strength may fail. And Father God, you pour your Spirit down, the clouds will clear, the truth prevail. You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. This is the hope for all the world, and there's that held God in our place. This is love that brings forgiveness. This is the promise of His grace.
And thank you for that suggestion, Chloe. That was a lovely idea.
It's a great one. And have we done all our...
I think so. Carol and John Evans, you are 40 today. It's your wedding anniversary today, if you're watching.
Wishing they were
40. They are 40. As a couple, they are 40. And Lynn and Jim, obviously, you were 39 yesterday.
And what about baby?
Yes, we want to encourage you to keep praying for baby Amelie Grace, Paul and Paul's little granddaughter, and also for our friend Steve, who is seriously ill, dealing with cancer at the moment. So those of you who have spare capacity, it would be lovely to have you pray for those people as well.
He really would value your prayers. For him and for Lynn, who's living and coping with all that brings. These are days when we need community and we need each other. We needed them 2 years ago, and all of us needed them. And can I just say that although people have talked about us modelling it, you know, we needed community as much as anybody.
Did. That's what I said.
And, you know, we started out this whole thing, and I love that video. Claire put some copy at the front. You know, that we started out, and I said this in the interview, we started out doing a show for us, you know, doing what can we do?
It was actually, I just wanted to keep him occupied.
Exactly. But it wasn't terribly holy.
No, it wasn't. I just simply wanted to keep you occupied. And I thought, what can we do? People are going to be frightened. People are going to be upset and worried. What can we do? We can make them laugh.
Yeah.
We can give them a song, and it keeps you off my back a bit. Give you busy, something to do.
And often what happens is that kindness begets kindness. And what happened then was that we, from broadcasting with a little camera in a laptop, suddenly that all changed with a phone call and a contact from Rachel, who said, "I can help you. Would you like some help?" And I said, "Do I look as though I need any help? You know, it looks pretty perfect to me." And from Rachel, that transmogrified into Claire, who we'd met as well up in the church in Barrow, which we're incidentally going back to in September, which is fantastic. And we're going out to Barrow in Furness. Who goes to Barrow in Furness? JV goes to Barrow in Furness. That's who. That and the nuclear submarines. I just want you to know that they're up there, just in case you were wondering. Then there's them and us. And I am going nuclear when I go up there. I just want you to know that, all right? And I want to welcome, actually, if we can now, I'd like to have the whole tech team on. Just a couple of reflections. Let's have them on Zoom, shall we? Oh.
Wow. Andy Flanagan as well.
Andy Flanagan? Who's Andy Flanagan?
Hey!
It's been a stressful day. It's been a stressful day.
It has been a stressful day, darling.
It's been a stressful day.
And you have nearly lost your voice, so maybe we should hear from you first.
Rachel, you haven't got much voice. Just a little bit of a reflection. Just a little bit of reflection on the last 2 years.
Where's it gone? Whereas like it's sort of like I said privately, like I'll be lost without this at sometimes. Like it's even at work, it's sort of in the lockdown, it's like we weren't having shows in, and to be able to come and do this, it was just great things. And like one of the things, I've got too many highlights of like just laughing around like on screen, and then when like staying down with you all privately in our chats and stuff, is like doing your birthday weekend. That was stressful.
Yes.
You would just not move and trying to get things. And like today, like doing that Steinway highlights, the reason why we're late is because the internet's been a bit laggy a lot, and it was sort of saying it was synced when it wasn't. So that's another thing. It was sort of what happened on that birthday weekend. It's sort of things weren't going, but to be able to facilitate this show has been amazing. Like I can't wait. It's sort of like when you keep telling me if I'm at work, I'm at work. But I can't switch off. It's sort of it's that you two have given me opportunity to sort of think outside the box and just push the boundaries. Like now, like when I was down 3 weeks ago, putting 2 more cameras in and giving that sort of flavour of keeping it fresh. Because at the moment, for a while, we were on 1 camera, then went up to 2, and then adding Sue in a little box, which was great. You know, and then we had that for so long, and then I've been thinking, we need that close-up keys. We need to be seen inside. And you kept saying, well, can we have it? Can we have it? And I'm thinking, yeah, but the inputs are full. But now we've been able to facilitate that. It's just, it's
because
great.
Of the generosity of Steve from Rysdale Chapel.
Yeah, Rysdale Gospel
who gave
Hall.
us that switchover. It's interesting, isn't it? I'll just say this, that people say, they're grateful. And I have to say that it is hard work. I'm constantly thinking about the show. I am. Trying to think about new guests each week, trying to get people in who want to come in, trying to think about the structure of the show. And it's something that I spend a lot of the week thinking about. And Sue facilitates and you guys facilitate my vision for it. You get the technical stuff.
Yes, it's sort of like, even though we're not locked down anymore, like you say before, there's still the need there. And even if we aren't opening up, like the theatre is like, I was always saying, we were the first to close, and we closed with Shrek, with a local group. We've actually just done that about 2 weeks ago, finally. So we can actually, I can now close that book and say, look, we can actually move on. And now it's sort of, as things are progressing and opening back up, we can still come back to this, even during the week, and watch back. Like, there's over 90 shows plus now. We can just sit back and watch 2 hours.
And videos, and music videos. So, Claire, just moving on to you, because you've done your hair, I see. That's very nice.
Looks lovely.
Yeah, it looks lovely. And you put makeup on. Look at you. Oh, my goodness, you almost look as good looking as I do.
Well, got to try, haven't I? I haven't been on in a while, have I?
Very good. It's very good. Claire, what are your thoughts on over this 90 shows now?
One word to sum it up, and I think everybody in this team would agree, would be madness. Sheer utter madness, because you never know what to expect, and I think that's what keeps us on our toes. And if it wasn't like that, then it'd be the same old, and it wouldn't be a fantastic, unique show that it is now if it wasn't different every single week. And the opportunities to meet loads of people and get to know members of the community as well, especially over these years. And I will say, on a personal note as well, like 2 years, that's also like the time frame that I've known Ben. Like that's all I've known with Ben is to have GV live from the Steinway room as well. And it's sort of like, it's really awesome to bring him on board, especially when he's so busy with work, and I'm so busy with work, and Rachel's busy with work now. We're in this new season of JV Life in the Steinway room where we're back to our full-time jobs, and we had a little bit of leeway with lockdown and stuff, but now it's like, right, how do we manage this as a team, as a group? You're on tour with Sue, and I think the patience of the community and just the loving kindness that they bring to this show is unknown, unbound, I think is the word.
Yeah,
I can't think of the word in the book, but you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I do. Thanks for that, Ben. Ben, you were slightly late to the party, but not that late, and you've been part of us now, and it's been so lovely having you. To tell us what your memories, impressions, whatever.
Well, yeah, I agree with the madness. It is madness every single time, without fail. What's it? The list of the work of fiction.
Oh, the running order. Yes, the set list. The work of fiction.
Every single week is always a work of fiction. It's like
even on tour, I would add.
Yes, even in a live show, it's a work of fiction.
And you know what? I mean, to say to people that one of the things I do is I have a long list, and from that long list, I then do the short list. And each time I think that might fit there. That doesn't. The dynamic is wrong for that. And that's what I do, which does put it. And you have to understand the people out there that it does put it onto the technical side, because if I want a backing track, suddenly I've got to have a backing track, or I've got to have I've suddenly got to go, and in the silence, whilst you were watching a video, I'm calling Rachel saying, how about this? Or Claire, could you do this? And suddenly, you've got 6 or 8 people in the waiting room wanting to be in there. And so it's a lot. I realise that what I ask is a lot, but you guys are so equal to the task that you make it now. You've made it into a really high-class magazine show online. We
try our best. We try our best.
Well, you do.
You do, and it's good.
And
it's good.
It's very good, and people are still commenting on the quality. But Ben, you were saying, just about your impressions of it.
Yeah, like I said, it is madness, but it is absolutely fabulous at the same time. It's like yin and yang. You can't have one without the other, sort of thing. If it was the same show week in, week out, yeah, it'd be easy for us. And behind the scenes and things like that, but it'd get really monotonous and just
boring.
We'd have lost interest before.
It would have got very stale, wouldn't it,
exactly,
Ben?
Yeah. Like for you as an audience, it'd be nice. Oh, that kind of thing. I mean, we do notice bits and pieces like when we do, latch onto a new thing, and it's like, oh, the numbers are there, and we're like, oh yeah, and then we do notice those numbers sometimes drop off a little bit, and we're thinking, why is this happening? Things like that. Sometimes, most of the time, it's you're moving to, instead of Facebook, YouTube or something like that.
Yes.
And we're trying to figure out, right, okay, where's the best place to get you the information that you need and bits. But yeah, it is fab. It is fab.
It's great, and I just want to say, both of us want to say, because I think we must wrap up the show a little bit now. Now it's coming, and we're all very tired, and we've got the grandchildren tomorrow afternoon. So joy and delight. Yeah, exactly. And I didn't manage to eat anything because I was having a sleep this afternoon. No, I know. I mean, I don't know what. It's a tin of spaghetti in a few minutes. I know the way I live, eh? But we just want to say to you, and on behalf of the community, and I would love to see hundreds of hearts
writing in
and everything
all their
else
support
saying
and
thank you to all of you. Because wait a minute, Rachel, I've got to thank you first, and then you can say what you like. But I think Sue and I would just like to say...
We would, absolutely. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your creativity and for being part of this journey with us. Without you, we would not be here celebrating 2 years, and it's as simple as that.
Simple as that. So thank you to all of you for what you've done. Rachel, you just wanted to...
Yeah, I just want to say thank you also, is that when you did have your kidney transplant, is like the trust you've given us as well, and actually over the 2 years, is thank you, because we were able to keep the community going. All right, we were in contact throughout the whole time, but keeping things going. But to be able to give those 6 shows of like, there you go, the community yourselves, you just accepted that, they were repeated bits, but you took them on board. Like, I've just noticed a comment about the top 30. I don't know who it was. I just saw it.
Sue Capon said it. Sue did.
That just came to me like 5 minutes before I was meant to go to work, and it's sort of like I had to sort of get that sort of sent out. Then I could do whatever I needed to do. So it's sort of the trust and the loving friendship that we've been given with all 5 of us is amazing, and I wouldn't change it for the world at all.
No, I'd just like to build on that. I mean, a lot of times after the shows, we've talked about loads of random stuff. We've talked about the show, we've talked about what's the next step, but also, Jonathan and Sue, you've taken time to get to know us, and you've been with us through the ups and the downs, like, of the last 2 years. And right back at you, you've told us things that your ups and downs as well. But it's been really special to have that sort of connection that we never had before. And I remember seeing you in Skegness, and both of you, and we barely knew you. We were just two girls from Barrow in Furness that you'd done a really cool show at, and had a hug and was like, oh yeah, it's Rachel, there's Claire, and there's chatting with Sue and my mum and everything. And I always pictured that, and coming to where we are now, like, what a growth and development. And that's due to this show, and we wouldn't have had that without this show and this community. So thank you to you two, and thank you to everybody, and thank you to Rachel and Ben for being there.
See you in Barrow.
Yes.
See you in Barrow. Right, thank you guys. We're
Thank
just
you so
Sue,
much.
just over to you for the final notices.
Give me a sec.
Yes, okay. We should.
Okay. Right,
Obviously, Paul Rachel's now got to be busy and sort out all the sort of bits and pieces, all the technical stuff. So essentially, the usual stuff. If you are interested in following us in our tour, we've got the next Saturday we are in Hastings. That was delayed from February, so really looking forward to being in Hastings next Saturday. And then on Easter Sunday, we're going to be at the New Springs Church in Loughborough. So if you're in that area, you'd like to join us there, that's going to be a fantastic Sunday morning celebration service. We're going to share our story. We're going to sing a load of songs, and it's going to be a great time. Moving into May, 7th of May, we're at St Michael's in Lyndhurst. A few people have said already that they're going to be there, which is fantastic. Really looking forward to seeing you there. And then we have 3 dates up in Scotland. We are going to be on Arran on the 21st, Tayside Christian Fellowship in Perth on the 27th, and we're going to be at Cowdenbeath on the 28th. So if you're up in Scotland, why don't you find one of those dates and come and see us up there? It would be so lovely to see you. I can't tell you how joyful it makes us to feel that there are people who come to the shows, having sort of joined us on a Sunday night. And if I could just say just a little thing. If you do come, I know that you see us and you recognise us and you say, hi, how lovely to see you. I need you to say, I am whoever you are, because then I can put a face to a name, and that's fantastic. So don't forget to say who you are when you come and say hello, but do come and say hello. As far as social media is concerned, let's have a little look at this. Oh, the girls have been busy on this one. So we have Jonathan Veira on YouTube. So there we are, our little JV in a circle. And what I want you to do is to click on the like and then subscribe. So that like is that little blue thumb. So you click on that, thumbs up, and then you click on subscribe, and you give us your details.
And ring the bell.
So that we know that you're going to get any notifications that come through, and ring the bell and you get the notifications when we put something new up. So keep joining YouTube, people. Keep subscribing to YouTube, because that helps us immensely.
We've gone up, it's even gone up tonight. It's gone up to 716.
Fantastic.
We really are aiming for the 750. That's our next target. The more we get, the more coverage we get, and the more people are seeing this show. And it's lovely to have you on YouTube to come on and do that. 716. They're saying for remember, if you're new, click like, subscribe. You don't pay anything. It's not an invasion of your privacy. It's just you get notified on your phone or your mobile device that something you've got a new video, or something else has happened, or the show's come up, or something else.
If you want to contact me at all, I'm on sue@jonathanveira.com. That's sue@jonathanveira.com. You can ask me a question. You can tell me something. You can tell me that you want to order something for someone's birthday. That's my email address. That's where I will get all the information. If you want to know about putting Jonathan on at your church, again, you don't have to it's no commitment. You can just get the information from me, and we can start a conversation. And if you want to know about the dates, they're all on www.jonathanveira.com.
You can also listen on there before you buy. If you want to buy CDs, you can listen to the tracks before you buy them. I've played you the Guide Me, O Thou Great Jehovah from Hymns Project 2.
Which is a fabulous
CD.
CD.
Album. Somebody came to me in the show the other night and said, we were travelling, we're doing a road trip, and the only 2 CDs in the cart at the moment, we just go, we run them in parallel. Hymns Project 1 and Hymns Project 2. And it's a fabulous couple of albums. Quite apart from the new albums that we've done of Lockdown Sessions 1, 2 and 3. Buy any 3 items and we're going to send you a free gift, a free CD as well. So I think, actually, don't forget Wygaff, don't forget Lisa Ashton. There's so many people that we've had on tonight. And if you'd like to make a donation to the lovely organisation that we heard, Restore, then that helps them to find people who are, again, these are things that you can choose to do. And we ask you to support as much as you can, because this community is one of the most beautifully generous. We're going to sing a song and we're going to go home. I'm tired. Well, actually, I'm going to stay home. All right, that's what's going to happen.
We're going to go home.
All right, and here it goes. And it's, I think you might recognise it. For 90 programmes.
No, you didn't do this at the end of the first one. It was How Great Thou Art at the end of the first one.
Okay, 89. But each time this has been sung apart from that one. And the Lord bless you and keep you.
Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways.
Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame.
God speed you,
God lead you, and keep you wrapped around His heart. May you be known,
my love.
be righteous, speak truthfully in a world of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes.
God hold you
And fold you and keep you wrapped around His heart. May you be known,
my love. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you His peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine on you.
bless you and keep you and give you His peace and give you His peace.
Sing it with us, man. The Lord bless you and keep you.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn His face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn His face toward you
gracious to you, and be gracious to you.
So, Sue, when's the next time we're on?
In 3 weeks' time, actually. 3 weeks' time. Yeah, we're doing a show next week. We're at Easter, away for Easter, so it'll be the weekend after. See you in 3 weeks' time.
3 weeks' time. So just don't forget that, and we'll be on. We'll have a very special guest. The Lord bless you and keep you. And thanks for coming with us and joining us on this journey for 2 years. For those of you who've kept and those of you who've just joined us, then let's look for another 2 years when I'm going to be well into my 53rd year by then.
Yeah, right.
And we just pray God's blessing on you, particularly those who are not well at the moment. And we think of Lucas right now. We put an arm around you, mate, and Chrissy, and we think of Steve and Lynn. We think of Lynn and Jim. We think of Rachel Eves. We think of
Karen Spicer.
So many in the community. Elizabeth Ormiston, who's now started to walk quite well with the new hip. There's so many people that we haven't mentioned. With Michael Cooper, who's still doing well and his count's good. We think of people, friends of ours like Colin, who has not been well, who's one of the trustees. We think of him. And also, can I just add to that? We don't always know your names, but I know that a number of people out there struggle mentally with all kinds of mental health illness. If that's you, then we give prayers for you too, and we think of you. And we hope that travelling with us on this journey has helped a little bit. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you his peace, and give you his peace. Thank you. God bless you, and
Love
good
you
night
lots.
on show number 90.